Welcome to the Discover Terrell podcast. I'm Sharon Harper, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a journey to uncover the hidden treasures of Terrell, Texas. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway or just dreaming of your next adventure, this podcast is your ultimate guide to our charming town. We'll explore Terrell's rich history, showcase must-visit attractions, and highlight exciting festivals and events that you won't want to miss. From local hotspots to unique experiences, we're here to show you why Terrell should be your next destination. So sit back, relax, and let's discover what makes Terrell a place worth visiting. Hello everyone. I hope everyone had a very merry holiday season. Welcome to the January episode of Discover Terrell podcast. We have a great episode for you, but first up, let's go over our calendar of events for January 2025. That's hard to say. On January 9th, E. Terrell will present Natural Woman, a Carole King tribute, beginning at 7 at the Jamie Foxx Performing Arts Center. Again, that's January 9th. On January 11th, at Ben Gill Park, it's one of Terrell's city parks, they will be hosting Take Me Fishing. There will be 1,000 rainbow trout that will be released into the Terrell Pond, and they invite you to bring your kiddos and your fishing pole and head out for some family fun in Ben Gill Park. That begins at 10 a.m. Again, that is January 11th. On January 16th at noon, John Lucky Luckadoo, a B-17 pilot and World War II veteran, will be doing a presentation at BFTS Museum. So check that out. On the 20th, the 31st annual Martin Luther King birthday celebration will take place at the Jamie Foxx Performing Arts Center at 6 p.m. You don't want to miss that. Let's get into our podcast for this month. We have a couple very special guests here today. We have filmmaker M. Legend Brown and a co-star, the star of one of his upcoming films that he's filming in Terrell, Finn, the downtown dog. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's hop on into it. How are you, Legend?
I'm good. How about yourself? Thank you for having me on.
Doing great. Did you have a good holiday?
I did.
Finn, what about you? Did you have a good holiday? Oh, she's shaking her head. Yes, she did good. We wanted to invite Legend in to talk a little bit about his projects, and he does a lot of projects in Terrell. So, Legend, what inspired you to start making films?
It's kind of a little bit complicated. I've always been a storyteller, but when I was having a midlife crisis at the age of 30, and I walked into this film theater that was showing Lean on Me with starring Morgan Freeman. And I remember sitting there with like 30 people, and we sat there, we laughed, we cried, and we clapped and cheered all at the same time. And we did that for 5 hours. We never left the theater. And I walked out of that theater thinking, whatever that is, I want to do that. I want to make people feel like that. And it took me a couple of years to get there, but that's when I quit my job, and I went to the Dallas Library, and I read every book on filmmaking, writing that I could in 2 years. So that's kind of that's how I learned how to make films.
Wow. So self-taught.
Yes.
That's amazing. Because it's a scary business, isn't it?
Very scary. Very scary. It's a lot of moving parts, and you can't control any of them.
And Finn says, it's not so scary. I kind of like it. You do a lot of your projects in Terrell. What made you choose Terrell?
I'm from here, and Terrell's always been a great support system. They've always supported the film industry. They've supported me when I first came back, and the city, Mike, and those guys have always been an ally, and the chamber has been one of the main allies for us. So it makes it easy. I just had a friend that was just telling me that too. She was like, "Man, you shoot everything in Terrell." I was like, "Yeah, when you got resources and allies, it makes life a lot easier." So that's kind of one of the reasons. And it's just a good community, and you can make Terrell look like almost anywhere you want it to look like.
It's everywhere America, right?
Yes.
It's everywhere America. We got some nice parks, a lot of different locations. Is there a place in Terrell that you like to shoot? Like you're just like almost every movie, you're like you want to use it as a setting?
And I think I have access to it. It's one of the houses off of Griffith. And I've always wanted to shoot there. I was like, man, if I could shoot at that house, man, that would just like give me, we call it production value. That would up my production value tremendously. And I think the young lady reached out to me not too long ago. And so it's like, okay, I just got to find a film that I want to shoot there.
That's awesome. So score. Is there a story that you really, I mean, I know you've told a lot of stories and I know that you wanted to tell them. Have you already told that story that you really, really want to tell, or is it in there still bouncing around in the brain?
It's probably still bouncing around in the brain. I think stories find you. You don't find them. I think you mentioned a story to me that is very intriguing to me that I do want to tell. And it's still based in Terrell, so
Yes.
or the foundation of it starts in Terrell. So I just think that's an amazing story. And sometimes when you find stories and stories find you, you don't always get a chance to tell them because financing becomes one of the most difficult parts.
Right.
And to answer that question, there is one. I have a Christmas film that I wrote about 10 years ago, and I've had it pitched and people green lighted, and then when it comes to doing it, they kind of say, well, no, we don't want to do it now. So that Christmas film is like my white Bronco that I just cannot catch.
Okay. I like that analogy. That's pretty good. Well, that's awesome. Well, I hope that you get to make that. And I won't give away the story that I told him about, but it is a wonderful story that has a lot to do with Terrell. So you are in the middle of working on 2 projects right now in Terrell. It's exciting.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more.
So we're in the middle of principal photography for one of my films called No Way Out. It's a kind of a Saw meets Ocean 11. It's a heist that has a kind of a little bit of a intrigue to it. It's a thriller. So we're having fun doing that. It's something new that's stretching me as a director. And then we're coming off of that, and we're going to get Finn the Downtown Dog started in the summertime.
Wow. You have Finn sitting in your lap. I know we're not videoing this, but Finn is all large and in charge in here right now, looking like a movie star because she is a movie star. Can you tell me a little bit more about the project of Finn the Downtown Dog?
I had met Jessica King over at the Vagabond Players, and so we had kind of developed a friendship over the years along with the Vagabonds. And so one day I was, just looking, and I seen this post that says Finn the Downtown Dog. And I was like, huh. And I've always wanted to do something with animals. And the last film I did was Steps of Faith with horses. Okay. So I thought that was fun, and people really, really loved that movie. And I wanted to do something with dogs. And I was like, it's Terrell, it's Finn, it's a white Pomeranian. So what could be better? You know what I mean? And so once I mentioned it to Jessica, and she was kind of, taken back, but then all in. So we started to move forward and put some pieces in place and write a script. And so it's evolved from that into, a movie that we're going to do that I kind of want to do a 3-part series movie and then turn it into a weekly series.
Wow, how fun is that? We actually have Jessica, Finn's owner, here with us now, or Finn owns her. I'm not sure how that goes. But Jess, you have anything to say about this project and how it got started?
Well, so I think my official title most days is Finn's mom or manager or treat person. But no, it's exactly as Michael said. And when he first approached me for it, because I started Finn's Facebook page as a joke, everyone downtown loves her. And I started it and was posting videos and everything. And I believe it was after we wrapped Captain Terrell's Town that he approached me and he said, what do you think about doing a film series or movie about Finn? And I was like my Finn, the dog. And so we've had a lot of really amazing conversations, and he's such a creative mind, and coming from a theater background, it's really exciting to partner with someone with a film background, because we both approach it differently but wind up in the same spot. So I'm excited. You guys have probably seen, hopefully, updates on her Facebook page. If not, go check them out. And definitely follow M. Legend Brown's page too, is what it's titled. And he's got a lot of updates on his new movies as well. I've had the pleasure of seeing the behind the scenes. My apartment stars in this one as well. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, that's amazing. Finn is going to make downtown Terrell not only historic, but famous. So when you're filming this series with Finn, what are some of the locations downtown that you're going to use other than Jessica's apartment?
Of course, the museum is one of the places that we want to highlight in the first movie, along with possibly the dog shelter and the bookstore. Just some of the more landmarks that when people come that they can see from downtown. So we kind of want to really emphasize the train depot. Somebody told me a beautiful story about that not too long ago. So there's a multitude of places that I think even people here in Terrell haven't really investigated or had a chance to visit. So I want to kind of highlight those in the storytelling and making of Finn the downtown.
Wow, I'm excited about that because my job promoting historic downtown Terrell and all the things to do, Finn is just going to showcase it and make it wonderfully famous. So I really am excited about that. So how can you had said that you were going to do a 3-part movie series with Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like doing series? I know on Golden Voices you have a 1 and a 2. Are most of your movies that way where there's multiple, or is it like some of them are just one and done, or do you prefer to do the series?
Traditionally I like to do one and done. But lately the series have become great marketing tools. And I think with Finn, with a dog movie or a canine movie, you kind of want to, if you fall in love with it, you think of Lassie and Benji and, all those movies that come along that had, you kind of fall in love with those characters. So you want to see those characters over and over again. And if you don't see them like they're on TV every day and you see them maybe once or twice a year, you become more involved with them and appreciate the storyline better. So that's kind of, to me, with Golden Voices, it was a Christian film, and we didn't have a series as a Christian film or episodes or TV. We didn't have anything that kind of in the faith-based market that had a continuation. And one of my good friends, Dallas Jenkins, did a really good job of that with The Chosen. And so, that was after we started doing Golden Voices, and we had planned on doing it as a series. So that's kind of the reason we started doing a little bit of the series. Because I think John Wayne, he was one of my favorite characters. And when we would see him, I felt like I knew him. So, and I didn't get a chance to, he would do those big movies. He didn't want to do TV. So it was like you got a chance to experience that in a more superstar way.
That's awesome. Yeah, she is looking like a superstar right now. I can see it all over her. So tell me a little bit about the creative process. That's what's always fascinated me, is how you take this idea, like you said, that's bouncing around in your head, and you actually take it through the writing, the directing, and the producing. So do you do all that yourself, or is it a collaboration, or does it depend on the project?
It depends on the project, but I mostly spearhead most of that. And then I've worked with producers for 20, 30 years, and I know people who've acted, and I go, oh yeah, that would be a great actor. So the creative process is almost, it's like you have to be in the same room together. And I was explaining this the other day to my friend who does music. Like there's times me and Jessica has been in a room together and we're talking about the script, or me and Kelly, we're talking about a script. It's when you're in the room, it's like the ether is circling over your head, and then it seems like both of you guys are pulling from the same ether, and it just kind of, you're all speaking in the same language. But if we're doing this online or if we're doing this, it's different than, I always equate it to, like, if you go to church in the building, you feel the momentum, you feel the spirit, or however you want to say it. But then when you're watching church online or TV, it's kind of like you're distant. So to me, the process of making stories is everybody gets together and we're brainstorming and we're feeling all of those moments come together. They're inspiring, and it's easier to do it when it's all together. Now the internet is so big and everybody wants to just pick up a phone or do it on video chat, and you lose some of that
the synergy.
Spontaneous and synergy. It's even like last night we were filming and the fog we can make fog, but can't make it like it was made last night. It's covering the lights, it's rimming the lights. It's so when we're in the moment, you get those accidental moments that just happen to be special. And I think that's the same thing with the process. When I'm writing it, it's one thing, but then when we get all in a room together and we're reading it, now it becomes more real. And then when we actually start to rehearse it, then you go, whoa, wait a minute. And then when you put the camera and you start moving parts and you get in costume and you get in the location, it starts to just breathe life and you go, oh, this is special, or, oh, I see it now. Because there's a lot of people who tell me, I can't see what's in your head. But the moment they see it, they go, oh, yeah, okay, I'm with that,
That was really a good explanation of it. I've been not on films, but on TV series and things like that. I've worked when I was younger in one of my past lives. That creative process and bouncing ideas off of people is just so important. But the thought of doing a film would scare me to death. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
But I would love to be in the room one time when y'all are bouncing around those ideas. It's fascinating to me to see. So Jessica, you bring that theater side to it. So on this project, you talk about, your experience in theater, way beyond and more than even just the Vagabonds in Terrell. But you tell me from your perspective a little bit about the process.
Well, so I have written a handful of stage productions, but to actually get to sit down with Michael and, watch him create this story and listen to it. And, there were a couple of times that we were emailing back and forth at like 2-3:30 in the morning, sending ideas and different things. Because like he said, once you get to going, I think there was one day we sat down and we worked for like 5 or 6 hours and both of us were like, I'm hungry. Are you hungry? We look at the clock. We're like, yeah, no wonder, But once it starts, it's almost just this creative tsunami, and so then you kind of have to dig through and figure out what you can do and all of that. Because, I love Finn to death, but she's not a trained border collie in a pedigree commercial, so it's really finding what she can do that matches his vision. And, because I have to advocate for her. And one thing I do want to compliment him on, which I have multiple times, is his consideration for his talent. And I mean that as a human, as an animal, all of it. I've watched him on set the last couple of days, and he really is absolutely phenomenal. He does a great job. He really turns it into a family. And so me putting my trust in him with the creative and Finn it's actually been a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Well, it sounds like you girls. Legend, I just called you a girl. I didn't mean to do that. I might have been talking about Finn. But it sounds like you guys are making it's a great collaboration. And that's awesome. That's hard to find. So that's great. And I can't wait to see Finn the Downtown Dog and your other project that you're working on. I'm going to sneak by the set tomorrow while they're filming. So I'm excited about that, to get to see some of the process. If those have to make me be quiet. I'm not good at being quiet. I may be typed in the corner. So have you noticed when you do these projects, and have all of your projects been done in Terrell, or have any of them been done anywhere else?
No, yeah, I've shot in Sulphur Springs. I've shot in Dallas. I shot a lot in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston. Yeah, we've shot in everywhere. I just really in the last 5 to 6 years, it's just been here in Terrell.
Well, we love that.
And so, because, I'm proud of Terrell and what they're trying to accomplish and how they're trying to grow. And if film is any part of that, then, I hope that's, if it's a small piece, then it helps in the big plot or the big world of everything, then I think it's beautiful.
Yes. We are in the process of making Terrell a film-friendly location, so we love that you're here filming. It really helps my cause in that. Hidden gems in Terrell, they're everywhere. Like you said, the house on Griffith, that's just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so glad that you might have a chance to get off there. Are there any other hidden gems in Terrell that you wish that more people would discover?
Yes. I think the museum, for one. I do think Blessing on Brims, before it went down, I thought that was like a hidden gem to go get if you really wanted something that felt like home cooking. And I only say that because I had a sandwich named after me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think the airport museum, airplane museum, I think that's a great hidden gem. I think the Iris building, with the bookstore and the black box that they do the plays with. I'm trying to think of really good restaurants that I think is a hidden gem. I think the Country Kitchen out off of 148 is a really, really good spot. Texas Steakhouse. And then I think once you get outside on some of the, like Poetry Road and some of those places, I think there's a really, really good. And even like, to me, what I look at is from a filmmaker is like the mechanic shops and some of the stuff that you just go to, and that there's a rail shop right up off of 205, but I can't think of the name of the street that you have to turn on, but that do custom rail work, and so it's like just little stuff that people might not notice that I think if we highlight it more, I think it makes Terrell, if you're visiting or driving through Terrell, you stop and say, okay, yes, we know about the Jamie Foxx Center, we know about some of the bigger platforms here, but I don't think in the mall out by the freeway. I just think the inside of Terrell is what people don't. The history of Terrell, with some of the churches, with some of the parks, with some of the gravestones and grave sites. I know that some people consider those morbid, but I think those hold a lot of history. And if you really want to know the city or the town, if you start at the grave sites, then you get to know what type of people built this town or started this town or started the history of this town. And I think the murals do a good job of telling some of the story of this town.
They really do. Yes, we do have some, and like you said, it's kind of hard to say, but they're very beautiful cemeteries.
Right.
Even the little plot at Breezy Hill
Right.
is absolutely amazing. And then Oakland and all the others. There's a lot of rural country. I would highly suggest if someone's visiting that they do that. Churches. The churches here are absolutely phenomenal and beautiful. The stained glass windows and everything. So, no, you're right. We do have some hidden gems in Terrell for sure. So that's great. So how can our listeners support your projects, current, future? If they want to support Finn, the Downtown Dog, tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Well, my Cash App is no.
Go ahead.
No, I would hope that Terrell would come out. I had a friend tell me out of Fort Worth. He said, "Michael, you really put Terrell out on the map when you do your films. People really, Terrell's always mentioned in your films, and Terrell's always, put on the forefront. And what I would really like is, especially with something like Finn, the Downtown Dog, is that Terrell comes out and really, really gets behind us. It's hard to make these films when you don't have any money. It's hard to make these films when you don't have the resources. What I would like to see Terrell have is like an extra list. You know what I mean? Where like if you need extras, that you could just pick up the phone and say, okay, here's 30 people you can call. They'll be at the ready at a drop of a dime. I know to have something that is highlighting Terrell specifically, not like just a movie that I'm randomly doing, but if it's something like saying, okay, this is downtown and this is going to showcase downtown. My movies have been seen on multiple platforms, and they go international. So it's not like it's going to be sitting on a DVD shelf somewhere. So to say, hey, okay, here's Downtown Terrell. You never know who might see Terrell from another country, or just in another state here that might say, if I ever go through that town, I want to check out that bookstore, I want to check out that museum, or I want to check out that bank, or I want to check out the cafe. I remember when we shot Steps of Faith, the country cafe. Man, I used to go everywhere, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, stop by that cafe! They do have big chicken fried steaks." And so that's the power of film. And if we could get somehow for something that's really, really highlighting and pushing Terrell forward, and to have some funds that allow us to do that, and bring in people who can also influence that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that, I think is it's very, very important. Like the Christian church, we shoot at all the time. I think we shot their 100th. I think that building's been there for 100 years, and now they're getting ready in 2 more years. They're getting ready to do like the membership. The members have founded that church. It'll be 175 years. You know what I mean? So those things need to be brought to life, but it's hard when you're like, I just wish there was more resources, and the City of Terrell could see something like this and say, oh, we need to get behind this. And I don't know how you accomplish that. I don't know how you move forward with that, or even with a film that we're doing, or anything that's promoting Terrell or downtown Terrell should have some kind of access to that, to say, okay, how do we get that to a bigger marketplace, or how do we get, so if it's just people saying, hey, we start a page, and people saying, hey, okay, we'd like to go donate to make sure this comes to fruition. But I think that's even if there's no way to get the word out, then it's just a page that does nothing. I think you have to have some kind of a way to reach the people on a bigger scale.
So what is your Facebook and your YouTube and those channels?
My Facebook is M Legend Brown. It's M.Legend Brown. YouTube is we started a page, and it's called Black Faith Family Entertainment.
Okay.
And so those are the 2 main ways you can reach me. Instagram is the same, M Legend Brown. TikTok, the same. But I mostly only frequent Facebook and my YouTube page.
Okay. So you said that on YouTube is Black Faith Family Channel?
Entertainment, yes. Black Faith Family Entertainment.
All right, guys, you heard it. So make sure that you go and you check out M. Legend Brown's work, and on those different platforms. So M. Legend Brown on Facebook and Black Faith Family Entertainment on YouTube. Anything else that you want to tell me about? I know that the 2 projects that are going on now. How much longer will you be filming in Terrell on the heist movie?
We have about 4 more days, and then we'll complete that. And there's one more project I'm going to squeeze in, because we want to shoot film with Finn when the weather is cooperative and it's not raining 100 days and it's not cold. We want it to be right in the middle of that early May, when it's perfect weather here in Texas. It's like May and October are the perfect weather.
Yes.
And so there's a film that I want to do inside of that I might do early March, and then we're going to do, so those films I hope people are on the lookout for, as well as some promotional stuff for Finn. We're going to start doing some promotional teasers and our newsletters and all that, because I really want the community to get behind something that represents something that's pushing the city of Terrell, downtown Terrell. And I think what's so perfect about downtown, it still has that historic feel, where it doesn't have, it's got a mixture of modern, but it still feels like it's historic. And so that's kind of what I want Finn to do, with not only enlightening us what Terrell is. I think there's a way to share Terrell's story through these movies without beating somebody over the head like it's an expose or a PSA. I think doing it with a little small cute dog and a kid brings that whole thing to a bigger platform and allow people to take the journey with us and get to know a city that we're not trying to shove in their faces, but through the journey they go, oh wow, I wonder if that city is really like that, and maybe make a trip to come to Terrell.
That's awesome. Jesse, more from you?
No, I'm just excited. Like you said about May, so you can follow Finn. She has a much larger following than I do. She's got Facebook and TikTok, so she'll be promoting as well and teasing and all of the trailers and such. It's Finn the Downtown Dog on Facebook and TikTok. So
there you go. Lots of ways to keep up with what is going on in Terrell. I want to thank you, Legend, for coming in. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you, Finn. Finn has been so good today. She's getting a little love, so it makes it a little bit easier, right?
yeah.
And she is the unofficial mayor of Terrell, so she knows what's going on in Terrell, and she will be a very good ambassador for us.
Yeah, she's made the front page of the Terrell Tribune twice now. So
oh my goodness, you're making news! Yay! But we do want to thank you guys, and thank you guys for doing these wonderful projects in Terrell. It means a lot to us, and we're really, really excited about it. And thank you for being on Discover Terrell podcast. Be sure and come back next month, and we'll have a list of what's going on in February for you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Discover Terrell podcast, brought to you by the Terrell Chamber of Commerce and Convention and Visitors Bureau, with production assistance from Jessica King. For more information on the exciting places to explore and events happening in Terrell, visit us at discoverterrell.com or follow us on our Discover Terrell Facebook page. We look forward to sharing more of our town's rich history and fun adventures with you soon.